listening to theoutdoorstation.co.uk. It's a podcast. It's a magazine. No, it's a podzine.
Hi everybody and welcome to this week's Podzine, dated Monday the 17th of March 2008. Yes, hi everybody and welcome back to the Podzine. And this week's show comes obviously directly after the outdoor show, the Ordnance Survey Outdoor Show up at the NEC in Birmingham. The NEC, of course, which stands for National Exhibition Centre. And congratulations to all the winners of the last 2 weeks who were sent free tickets, free VIP tickets to attend the show. Some of which I bumped into while I was there. And thanks very much for coming up and saying hi and having a chat. Right, well, what have we got on this week's show? Well, we're going to have a bit of a review, really. We did a lot of interviews at the show, well over 30 interviews, and they're going to be put together over the next few weeks, all gathered together so that you can give an idea of some of the things that were going on if you missed it and you were there, or if you couldn't make it for whatever reason. In this particular show, we're just going to have a bit of a review, really, a bit of a chat with some of the people we saw. We're going to catch up with Alpkit and their Colab competition they were running, which actually really came together. I must congratulate the guys and everybody that has entered that. It proved to be very, very interesting, and it drew quite a large crowd. So a bit more of that a bit later. And what else are we going to do? We'll have a look at the diary as usual, perhaps a little bit of a competition of some of the goodies that I've been gathering together over the last few weeks. I've got a whole box full of goodies and they've got to go to somebody. And we'll have a bit of a conclusion. Andy and I have a conclusion. But first of all, I think we'll go to Alpkit and have a chat with them about the Colab competition. Now, as some of you may remember, we spoke to them several weeks ago, before Christmas now, where they were trying to encourage people to join in and contribute to the competition, which was basically getting people with ideas that they thought might be a good idea for the outdoors marketplace, and to see if it could be brought to fruition. But I'll let Nick from Alpkit explain. Regular listeners will remember I interviewed Nick from Alpkit regarding the Colab competition that they were bringing to fruition at the outdoor show. And I've got Nick with me now, and there's a stand here which is showing all the designs that have come to fruition. So just for people that don't know the full details, Nick, just give them a brief rundown of how they actually got here.
Hi, Bob. Well, the competition was about bringing outdoor innovation to a show like the outdoor show, and people could enter the competition with their ideas that they've perhaps sort of hidden away in the broom cupboard for years on end, or even just a flash when they could see that they could enter a competition like this, with a view that they could go through the competition and then
ideally, presumably bring it to market with your assistance.
Yeah, I mean, although that wasn't really the background of the competition, it was really to actually get these ideas out in the open, and if the product came about and we kind of fitted what we wanted to do, that'd be great. If it didn't, then it doesn't matter. We're just more than happy that people have made the effort to come up with the ideas. And
so you're acting as a facilitator, really. So the people who are sort of frustrated designers that obviously didn't have the budget to bring something to market, as it were, you're helping them to demonstrate their ideas. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think that's probably where we got really frustrated. Was a lot of ideas kind of seem to get sort of brushed over when they kind of go into the outdoors market. That you kind of certainly working on the design side, I was really aware that a lot of ideas that never actually came out. And even more so, there's lots of ideas that just the general user has, which never get a chance of coming out. And I think the competition has demonstrated that there is a way of getting these ideas out into the public, and maybe one of them gets picked up by maybe it's us, maybe it's another company, and can make it out into retail, and people can actually use that product as they should do.
Okay, well, I mean, it's certainly attracting a lot of attention here, and I know that you've had sort of a bit of mixed fortune as regards people entering, because they were a bit concerned about their intellectual property rights. But you cover that quite happily, and obviously you don't take anything away from this, as it were. It remains entirely with the entrance. So the standard looks very, very high.
It's surprisingly high, actually. I mean, we kind of, when we muted the design competition around, we had a lot of kind of sort of the initial ideas, and we were a little bit unsure on how it would pan out, but actually the 10 entrants have done amazingly well over the kind of the last few months. The sort of standard of graphic representation. We've got people using flat screens. We've got 3D moldable polymers. The actual technology that they've used to produce their prototypes has been amazing. And that's not just flashiness. The actual designs of the products and what the actual product can do are really valid, and there's some amazing designs.
Well, obviously people are curious, I'm sure, to know what is here and what sort of designs are here. Have you got a list?
I've got a list. I've actually got it in front of me because there's basically we've ended up with 10 finalists. We've got a stove that works multi-fuel, works on gas, it works on solid fuel, can even work on kindling and things like that. So that's cool. And there's all the kind of products that have been around like that, but I think he's really kind of pulled it together to make a really good product. Probably the most high-tech product is the external interface satellite phone, which is obviously the biggest mouthful as well. And that's the product that's very prototype stage, but it involves soft switch buttons and basically kind of technology all around the body, which you can access from different buttons that's placed around that. Going on, we've got the double skin pot, so in order to make a pot that's more thermally efficient, your fuel lasts longer, your water boils quicker, and basically like a thermos flask, but it's able to retain its heat longer, but and basically more efficient. The foamless boulder mat, which obviously we make boulder mats at Alpkit, so we've kind of looked at this one at interest, and it seems to work. I mean, we've helped out with a couple of the prototypes to kind of get them going, and we're actually, it's an interesting one to see where that will go. Really, that's certainly of interest. The beacon bag. I mean, we've actually got an entrant who amazingly has got two products here, and he's got the beacon bag, which is pretty fascinating actually. Basically, it's a survival bag with lights in it that then can flash an SOS message or any other message that's programmed into it. And certainly when you kind of look at other technology that's been around with LEDs and lighting technology, I think Marmot have done some work on that. There's definitely something there in the way that he's approached lighting technology and a product. He's also got the retractor mat, which I think is actually the best name of the product. That's the one he's worked hardest on, and it's a product where we've all known the frustration of being, certainly at an early age, strangled to death by
mat flapping in the wind around your neck.
Absolutely, and basically he's basically much like a roller blind that basically you pull it again and then it rolls up. So the shape's probably unusual. There's probably an awful lot of designers of outdoor jackets that are getting frustrated that their standard size pocket doesn't have to be standard size, but that'll be good.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a bit of a surprise. So it'll be the retractor pocket. So
right.
Going on, we've got the morph handles, which are basically polymer handles that go onto ice axes. So one of the things that's happening in ice climbing is the kind of the way that people use their ice axes. Traditionally, standard grip, leashes, hang on for dear life on some grade 4 in Scotland. Now with it's a whole different set of athleticism, and the way that you're using an ice axe with two handles. Obviously, this is sort of leashless, and the way that you can mould that handle becomes vitally important. And most of the offerings from certain companies have been pretty much a sort of standard fit, which taking shoe technology and mouldable insoles and things like that, that's just been moved on in the same way with a mouldable ice axe handle. One of our kind of international entrants has come up with, and this hopefully this won't affect the voting, but it's actually my favourite, is the line lights, which is basically a set of programmable LED lights that are inside a line that when you whiz it around in a sort of circular motion, that can spell out any sort of message.
Wow.
So it can be used for, it might be, let's say, mountain rescue, might want to say, over there in certain sort of visibility conditions, you actually relay a message if other means of communication have gone down. This can actually then pass that message on. It could be programmed with an arrow, it could be programmed with a OK sign, anything really. Bizarrely, it's one that can't be picked up by television, so one of the problems has actually been showing it in a way, on webcasts and stuff like that. They've actually been really frustrated, and it's really only an event like this that they can show 40,000 people how the product works.
Gosh.
Because there isn't another way of doing it.
Yeah.
You can't just put it on video and go, well, this is how it works.
Yeah.
You've actually got to see it in the flesh, and obviously the way that video cameras pick up lights flashing and all that sort of stuff. So that's been quite interesting and quite, sort of validates the competition. You need a competition like this to kind of show that sort of how that technology kind of works. One of our other international entrants has come up with a flow pack, which some amazing graphics on the stand. He's obviously a very sort of talented designer. He's also done a rapid prototype, so he's got a 3D printing, comes apart. I think it's sort of 10th scale, but basically for a backpack system that's modular, so you can have a backpack and then, I only want to do a day pack today, and that just clips on. That then could clip off, and you could then have your sort of heavy backpack for doing week-long treks and stuff like that. So kind of a way of perhaps using less products. Again, it's a nice thing that ties in with the way that people look at their gear, that you can have one product that does more things very well because it's a modular system. It's not trying to compromise anything, and that's quite a strong entrant. Unfortunately, he's the only entrant that was unable to come because he would have had to come from America, and obviously that's a big decision for someone to make. We've then got possibly the most commercial product here. It's one that we're all wearing jackets with waterproof zips. We all know they're not really that waterproof, and one of the frustrations is also where those zips go. So there's always a compromise in garment design where the front zip's not too bad, but any pit zips have that bending motion in. Any other decision that a garment maker might want to make, where I want to put it here, but just know absolutely that they can't do that because they're limited by current zip technology. So this is a product that's similar to the Ziploc bag, where it's a fully waterproof sort of clipped gutter system to actually close. There's no way that water can penetrate, and because the way that it works, it's not affected then by the way that you mould it around and twist it. It might be rotated around seams. There's a working prototype here. There's even a machine that's dropping water off and pressing zips and things like that. So that's quite it's probably the most finished, and I guess it's one that it kind of encapsulates what we wanted to do with the show, because it would have been very difficult for that product to kind of go out into market without some very, very heavy investment into patents, because you would have been right up against some of the bigger companies who would have obviously looked at ways, does that infringe on current technology, but also if you're fighting a multi-million-pound company who really want to just copy that design, you'd be up against some sort of stiff competition. You'd really have to believe in that product. Whereas if you actually believe it's a commercial product, it's perhaps better to view it at a competition like this, win a competition like this, and then take that idea to one of the bigger companies and say, look, this is what I've done. I've got 40,000 people interested in this product. I've tested it. It's commercial. I've worked with a university to make it, and that's almost a shortcut to bringing that out as a commercial product. Otherwise, it would have been quite difficult to kind of take that forward. And there's other ways, there's other ways of then protecting that design, and that's something. That's probably a product that I'm very interested and passionate about. The way that this competition can help that product be go to market.
So the actual standard, the entry that you've had, looking at all of them, and also the knowledge and the depth of research that's gone into them, has been really good.
It's been phenomenal. I can't praise the contestants enough. It's been really pleasing working with them over the last 6 months. and all of them have put so much effort to be here. The expense of being here, the time and effort that they've spent on the prototypes, it's been fantastic.
Well, a couple of questions. When are we going to know the winner, and will it be announced on your site? And also, if anybody's listening to this from a manufacturing point of view that's interested in the products, I presume they can come to you for more details.
Sure. The results are going to be announced on Sunday. We'll do a vote count and we'll do some presentation. We've got a lovely pack to give them, and we'll try and get that information up on the website as soon as we can. If anyone is interested in the products, I mean, some of them, we have got our eyes open. It'd be great to certainly look at them and have chats. But if there's anyone from one of the other manufacturers that's really interested in some of these products, give us a shout, give the contestant a shout. The website, there's details on the website. The whole background to this competition was to get these ideas out into the public. If they're a great idea, for that to go into production. If that's us, that'd be fantastic. It'd be even better, if it's someone else that can really take this forward.
And will you consider doing it again next year?
We will. I mean, we're chatting with the organisers how we can run this competition. I think we've learned an awful lot over this year. There's a few tweaks we'd like to make, but overall, I think this competition is really what everyone wants. And yeah, it'll be a pleasure to do it next year.
Well, congratulations to everybody at Alpkit and everybody who entered the competition. There's been comments over the years that the outdoor show doesn't really show anything new and exciting, and I have to say I think probably that was some of the freshest and most exciting ideas that has been at the show for some time. So congratulations to everybody, and hopefully if you check the alpkit.com website you'll see who the eventual winner was, which will be interesting because there were some good solid ideas there, all of which had merit. Anyway, while I was nipping around the show like a busy little bee, seeing people and having chats and so on, Rose was speaking to lots of members of the public and asking them what their thoughts were on the show. And here's just a few of them.
I'm Peter Williams.
And Peter, how have you found the outdoor exhibition today?
It's really interesting. There's lots of climbing, really good competition. You have to climb across obstacles and then get into a car in a limited time. There's tight ropes and scuba diving courses and things like that. It's really good. Yeah.
What have you actually had a go at? Are there anything you've actually had a chance to have a go at?
Did I? No, I haven't got to go at anything yet.
And I can see you're here today in a uniform. Would you like to tell us about that?
I guess 10th there for White Cross Scouts, and my troop are here too. And I saw some old scouters from our troop, so that's good.
My name's Elaine Long, come from Cirencester in Gloucestershire. This is my husband Graham.
And how have you found the show? What's been most interesting?
Well, I was most interested actually in the talks. We listened to Alan Hinks earlier on. We're going to listen to Brian Blessed later. I'd like to listen to Doug Scott, but I don't know if we'll get to see him. But it's interesting to see how much sort of hands-on stuff there is here as well, especially for the kids and adults with the climbing walls and I don't quite know what. I suppose that's the rigging for a ship over there. But there's quite a lot of hands-on stuff here as well. So that's quite interesting. I wish our children were younger. We could have brought them with us, and they would have had a whale of a time here.
There's a lot of activities for children this year, isn't there?
Yeah, there seems to be an awful lot. That's why I say I wish they were younger. They would have had a wonderful time here. Yeah.
It's fantastic how more people are being encouraged to be active. I think we really need to in today's society.
That's right, and there's an awful lot here. Probably stuff that people don't even think about. I know slacklining is a new thing, and I see the mountain boarding over. I think it's called mountain boarding anyway. And then all the stuff upstairs, all the diving, trying out the diving. I think there's a whole range of stuff here, as I say, that you probably wouldn't even think about.
So a very worthwhile event to come to, do you think?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because I mean, whatever you're interested in, there's obviously something here for everybody.
My name's Pete. I'm 24. I'm from Salisbury, just outside Southampton. We just came in. We got here about 10 o'clock. We've had a bit of a wander around. We've just mainly been looking at sort of holidays, kayaking stuff, climbing stuff. I've watched some of the Sky Masters over in the corner, which seems like a really good competition. And yeah, it's been good so far, hasn't it? It's been a nice sort of wander around, and yeah.
So have you been before to the exhibition?
I was up here last year. I was working for Blacks, the retailer, and I was on their stand last year, but they haven't come up this year, so I just thought I'd come up with my own back.
You've probably got more time to spend and actually have a look at stuff then this year.
It's nice, rather than just the occasional half hour here or there. I've got a full day to wander around and take it all in. So yeah, it's really nice.
Any surprises? Anything that you've been very impressed with?
As I say, the Sky Masters climbing course seems quite an interesting concept. It looks pretty challenging, and I think the fact it's tucked up and sort of out the way in the corner. The bouldering comp last year took up a lot of space, whereas that seems to be a little more contained, but really eye-catching at the same time, so that's really cool. Other than that, it's all seems quite similar to how it was last year. It seems really cool.
Hi, my name's David. Come to the outdoor show to just look around, really, to see what deals are out, and for holidays in the future, for walking abroad and away.
And what have you found that's been actually useful for you here today?
It's just seeing what varieties about, such as the sort of New Zealand experience, etc., for walking, and seeing just what's available to us.
Have you been to the show before?
Yeah, it's probably my third year of coming.
And how do you think it's changed over the years?
It's not as good as it used to be, say, for some of the stalls and whatever, but yeah, it's not too bad.
There's certainly a lot of activities here today, though.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more activities than the like the first year that I come when it first started. But yeah, it's not bad at all.
Congratulations! I understand you're a ticket winner.
I am, yes. Very gratefully received.
And how are you enjoying the show so far?
It's been really good. We've been around a lot of the English places in Britain, getting details of walks and cycle rides. So yeah, that's been good.
Okay. And is there sort of equipment and things here that you're looking to see? And
we're looking for a lightweight tent because Andy Howells had this idea. I'm not sure how they drink at Christmas from the last podcast at Christmas that we're now going wild camping with him. That wasn't arranged, but so we've now got to look for a lightweight tent, and we're trying to find a lightweight backpack, but at the moment there's not a lot at the show to find. We bought the one Pipe Dream sleeping bag, and we're now looking at the mats to go with it. So that's one of the ideas, and also we're going to go to the Pyrenees hopefully this year, maybe just hut to hut. It could be camping, but not sure we can do a week at camping really. We are a bit novice at this.
There's a good range, isn't there, of location stands. You can go. We've seen Slovakia and Switzerland and all sorts of places.
Well, yes, it's good for getting ideas of what we might want to do during the summer.
Good. Well, I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of the show. Nice to meet you in person, and congratulations once again on winning your ticket and stopping me in the aisles.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So what's happening soon in the great outdoors? The Podzine Diary.
Well, if all this talk of activity outdoors is getting you excited and you're thinking, right, let's go and do something, why not have a look at our diary page at theoutdoorstation.co.uk. You'll find there's a range of links and pages and so on there which may be of interest. We try and link to everybody we can in the outdoors community where we're all sharing the same passion, be them cyclists, hikers, paddlers, ramblers, whatever it might be. So we're on the What's on Diary page, scanning forward over the next few weeks. Let's see what's going on around the country. There was a lot of interest in the bushcraft section at the Outdoors Show, actually, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if one of these attracts your interest. There's West Wales are having a bushcraft meeting, Cornwall are having a bushcraft meeting by Newquay, nice spot there, and Middlewood up in Manchester are having a meeting as well, so that covers 3 spots around the country. There's also some guided walks going on in the Yorkshire Dales. Again, details are found on our website. There is a mountain marathon coming on, which is probably a bit too late to enter, but if you're up in the Highlands and you want to witness what a mountain marathon's all about, the Highlander Mountain Marathon is at the beginning of April. There's some more organised walks up in Derbyshire, the Four Inns, and there's a 25-mile fundraising walk, the Allendale Challenge in Hexham, in aid of the search and rescue team. Beautiful Islay up in the Isle. There's guided walks around Jura and Colonsay, which I should imagine will be one of the most beautiful walks you could possibly do in the UK. And then you go on to the first of the walking festivals, the Peak District Walking Festival on the 19th of April, followed by the same weekend we've got the Yorkshire Dales National Park. I've just noted a typing error there. Yorkshire, no H. And then of course we have the infamous date of the 24th of April, and it's the 75th anniversary of the Kinder Scout Trespass, which probably started a lot of our freedom off, so we must celebrate that in some way. And then the same weekend on the 25th of April, Outdoors Magic have organised a social, or they're just doing one of their casual gatherings, but it looks like it's gathering speed, and that's going to be in Bedgellet, in Snowdonia, of course, and there's links there to where they're camping, which is at the Caravan and Camping Club site. And that should be quite an enjoyable weekend. So that brings us to pretty well the end of April. If there's anything going on in the diary section that you want some promotion for, if you're organising any social events or whatever, then please do get in contact. Of course, the Backpackers Club at the end of April are organising their normal AGM, and they've got a little bit of a trade fair going on as well. That's in Ashford in the Water in Derbyshire. So if you're interested in seeing some select items and so on, particularly heading towards the lightweight front, if that area interests you, their show is open to the public just on the Saturday. But as I say, links to the site and full details can be found on the What's On page at theoutdoorstation.co.uk.
The Podzine.
Here we are, coming to the end of our visit to the 2008 Outdoors Show at the NEC. Last time I was here was 2006, and Andy was here, I think, in 2007.
That's right.
What do you reckon, Andy? Changes?
Well, it's a smaller show this year. I mean, there seem to be less exhibitors, but in an odd kind of way, it's made it more pleasant experience because there's a lot more space to walk around in. There aren't as many stands. But it is interesting to see how the show is changing. I mean, it was... The idea of the show came out of the desperation of the foot and mouth outbreak and trying to promote the outdoors again, but it seems to have changed into being a show that's very much not only about the outdoors but is about adventure sports, and I guess that's capturing a younger audience, but it's I'm not quite sure it's got its identity right yet.
Well, it's certainly evolving, I think, and probably evolving to suit outdoor trends. In the upper hall where we are at the moment, it seems to be quite interesting the amount of attraction, the stands which are drawing people to areas or parts of the world where there are outdoor activities, and also how many people have visited the Cicerone stand, which is right in the heart of that, and the sort of books they're asking for.
Well, the one thing that is very, very clear this year, and it's a theme we've talked about a lot over the last 12 months, is just how important hiking, walking in the outdoor economy is now to all kinds of places. And this year, for example, I've noticed there are 3 new outdoor trails just in Britain alone. Each one of them has been designed to give a major boost to the local economy. And I think, you know, if anybody was in any doubt before about how important the outdoor world is now to rural economies, as they have to diversify away from agriculture, I mean, coming here, you're left under no illusions that that's very important. And the other theme that's very interesting this year to see is the whole theme around sustainability and ethics as well. You know, we've got a number of people who are stressing sustainable holiday destinations, sustainable tourism. I spoke to a lovely guy from the Irish stand who's developing an adventure sports complex on the west of Ireland that's going to be completely carbon neutral by next year. And then, of course, we've got the ethical producers, people like Powermo, and that seems to be growing as well. So there seems to be much more awareness of the need to protect and look after the environment.
And to complement that, it's been interesting to see, which I haven't seen before, an equestrian stand here, talking about the needs of and awareness of the horse riders and the people interested in that part of the activity and the amount of money they bring into the economy. And also the bushcraft community, which again is another one which is very aware on the ethical front and also the sort of the carbon neutral front about having a much softer footprint on the land. The kayak community is considerably less than the 2006, but I think there's been a breakaway exhibition for them. But there's certainly been a handful of kayaks here to suit the paddlers.
Yeah, they have. And what What's always slightly disappointing is equipment and gear. You think you're going to be able to come here to buy lots of bits and pieces, and it's never that easy to do. But the big trend here this year that we're seeing more and more about, away from the environment and the ethics, is computerization and mapping. I mean, there's no doubt that this year the big stands in the downstairs hall are looking at consumer electronics. We've got Memory Map, we've got Alpkit, we've got Ordnance Survey starting their new portal, which is designed for people to upload their own routes. We've got Outdoors Magic doing something similar, and several hardware producers who are producing things that are, hybrid, multi-use devices, mobile phones, screens, GPSs. And you can see the way in which the technology is going. I guess that's the only thing that's holding us back now really is battery life. But there's been a big step forward in that this year, hasn't there? There's no doubt that the whole thing around computer mapping is a thing for the future.
Well, certainly coming on to the battery life topic, I've seen 2-3 stands, probably had a word with 2 or 3 of them as well, the people with the solar power and the dynamo winding power issues, and they've been saying that battery power now and battery life is starting to improve so much that they can actually charge a central source, should we say, and that source then can be distributed to your electronic tools.
Well, the solar power stuff is very impressive, isn't it? I mean, you've got to see it in real life to realise just how small it is, and even the very fast charging things are. You can see how you could easily strap those to the back of a pack, and I guess if you're walking in a sunny, hot area in Europe or the States this year, that it really would be something to take with you, because trying to eke out that mobile phone charge for a week or 2 weeks between cities is pretty difficult. So that's been an interesting step forward.
As you say, particularly the weight of these items now, we sat and weighed some of the items, and certainly I would say less, the same and or less of a battery charger unit, your batteries, your mains unit, your adapter that has to make the adapter go for the foreign plugs and so on. I think they've definitely come of age, and they're certainly neat and tidy as well, I think.
Well, neat and tidy is always important to you, but neat and tidy, Micah, but they certainly have. I mean, you look at the ability to carry a solar charger with you, which is not adding very much weight at all, and is pretty inobtrusive, and yet you're using it to be able to charge a multitude of things, whether it's iPods, whether it's GPS units, mobile phones, and who knows what else is going to happen in the future. So you can certainly see how converging media is going to have a big impact on the outdoors, and I say they're probably the biggest stands this year with the biggest crowds.
Definitely. I think probably to conclude, I would say from what I've seen, the smallest stands seem to be doing the biggest business.
Well, one of the things that is important here, and I sometimes wonder whether they really understand the value of it, are the smaller stands. I mean, a lot of the theatres have moved away from guidebook writers and people talking about actual destinations to celebrities, and the celebrities certainly have a following, but actually the real value is in some of those very small stands. There are people doing amazing things, from the woman who's starting the online dating service for people like the outdoors, to things like the Slovenia Hiking Club, who I hope to get an interview with before we finish. But there's real value in these little stands, and I hope that in our interviews over the last few days, I hope we give people a flavour of that, because actually there's some fantastic people doing some wonderful things.
Indeed there are, Andy, and it was interesting to be there for the last few days and see what was going on. A lot of destination stands, a lot of adventure tourism, and seeing how the marketplace is changing. So while we were there, as I say, did over 30 interviews with a whole variety of people, some of the exhibitors, stand holders, manufacturers, people from different disciplines such as equestrian, bushcraft, hikers, walkers, and so there is plenty to be listening to over the next few weeks from the Outdoor Station. So do make sure you stay tuned in and subscribe to the feed using iTunes or any other pod-catching software that you have at your fingertips. Now, this is traditionally our competition section, and of course, the last 2 weeks we have been giving away tickets to the outdoor show. We had to draw the tickets very quickly last week for obvious reasons, so people got the tickets in time. And just to let you know who the winners were, let's quickly whip through them. We have Mike Moxon from North Somerset, Catherine Grokulek from Nottingham, I hope that's okay, Sue Wanterborough from Sutton Coalfield, Helena Romana. It does seem to be slightly awkward names this week. Romanowska, I think. Helena Romanowska from West Yorkshire. Good Yorkshire name. Nick Emsley from West Sussex. Carol Jackson from Lancashire. Robin Shaw from Blackpool. Richie Jones from Pangbourne. Dave Marshall, Haxby. And Steve Murray from Nottingham. Congratulations. I hope you enjoyed your day out at the show. Now, this week's competition is a goodie bag competition, really. I've been collecting goodies from end of last year and also at the show as well, and I've got a whole bag full of stuff, full of interesting things. So let's consider it a lucky dip. It's a bit of a wild card, and so the competition this week is purely straight out of the hat, which will be pulled on next week's show. So please send your entries, that is your name and address, to goodiebag@theoutdoorstation.co.uk. That's goodiebag@theoutdoorstation.co.uk, and we'll see who wins a bag full of bits, which I'll have gathered together by the time I get my act together at the end of next week's show. So, as I say, lots of stuff coming. Sure, you're going to find plenty to interest any discipline in the outdoors and keep your mind active as regards some of the options open to you. I hope you've enjoyed this show. It has been pretty well rushed together to get something out for Monday, but all the same, hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll catch up with you in the near future. All the best now.
This independent programme is produced and hosted by theoutdoorstation.co.uk.